Today we will discuss endocrine system today. Before that, we have discussed the receptors in humans, in which we have studied in detail ears and eye. Today, we will discuss today. If we keep on a mind, keep in our mind the coordination, we have discussed in the start of the chapter that in the start of the chapter that coordination consists of two types: nervous system, nervous coordination, and chemical coordination. So nervous coordination has been added. Now from endocrine system, we will discuss the chemical coordination. That chemical coordination are brought by endocrine system. So what is that endocrine system? Endocrine system. This is the introduction of your endocrine system. Okay, what is that? So keep in your mind, endocrine system regulates the activities such as growth, okay, the growth of a person, reproduction, maintenance of glucose, concentration in blood, and reabsorption of water in kidney, etc. So endocrine gland work with these functions. Okay, these activities you can see such as growth, reproduction, maintenance of glucose, concentration in blood, reabsorption of water in kidney, etc. need to be regulated. So these all functions are regulated by your endocrine system. Okay, so endocrine system perform this job. This system using chemicals. Now question is that how this function work, which parts help to work this function. So endocrine system uses chemicals to communicate with its factors. So these chemicals are known as hormones. So endocrine system, when it want to perform its function, it uses to communicate with its effector, it uses chemicals, and these chemicals are in the form of fluid, are known as hormones. So what is a hormone? Okay, so underline the definition of hormone. A hormone is a specific messenger molecule synthesized and secreted by an endocrine gland. So endocrine system actually consists of endocrine glands, and the function of endocrine system is there to help in growth, to help in reproduction, maintenance of glucose concentration in blood, and reabsorption of water in kidneys. This is the function of endocrine system. Now how endocrine system work? Endocrine system work with hormones. What are hormones? Hormones are special chemicals which are produced in the form of fluid in the glands, and they are transported in the blood, which control the functions. Okay, so endocrine system, we can say endocrine system consists of endocrine glands. Okay, you can also see the box. Many glands in our body are exocrine. Such glands have ducts for releasing their secretions, for example, digestive glands, skin glands. I will explain you later. First, we will see. You have to understand what is endocrine system. It is responsible for different functions, and it is a system which consists of glands. And every gland produces a special hormone for their function. So now we are talking about that exocrine system consists of endocrine glands. So what are endocrine glands? These glands are ductless. So endocrine glands further divided into two parts. One is called exocrine gland, and one is called endocrine gland. So first we will discuss the endocrine gland. What are they? Endocrine gland. These endocrine gland are ductless. Ductless means they are not in the form of tubes and release their secretion, okay, release it in the form of hormones fluid directly into bloodstream. Okay, so endocrine glands are ductless, they have no tubes. Okay, they are not in the form of tubes, and they transported their hormone directly into bloodstream. So blood carries the hormones to target organs or tissues upon which they act. So what is happened? So blood directly target the specific organ or tissue on which these glands are working. Okay, there is this is an introduction of endocrine gland. Now, what are exocrine gland? I have told you that okay. So, what are exocrine gland? Okay, so the exocrine Many glands you also have seen in the box, and many glands in our body are exocrine. Such glands have ducts for releasing their secretions, for example, digestive glands, skin glands, etc. In previous phase, you also I have shown you a sideboard the definition of exocrine glands. These are glands which are have ducts. It means that they are present in the body in human body in the form of tubes. Okay, and their function is that to release secretions, means hormones, in digestive glands and skin glands. In digestive glands and skin glands, as all of you, in our digestive glands, there are if we take an example of stomach, in our stomach, digestive hormones are produced which help to digest the food. Okay, so it was the introduction of exocrine system. Exocrine system perform different functions, and mainly it consists of and it glands, and all glands work with hormones. So exocrine system divided into two parts. First is called endocrine gland, which are ductless, means they have no tubes. They directly transported hormones in the blood. And second is exocrine glands, which have ducts, and they also produce secretions, but they work in their specific system, for example, digestive glands and skin glands. Now we will discuss the important endocrine glands. What are they? Important endocrine glands. Okay, they are in 6 to 7, which are given in your book, but we will discuss three of today. Okay, important endocrine glands. Okay, first we are talking about important endocrine glands. Endocrine glands are ductless. They have no tubes. They are not in the form of tubes. Okay, and how they work. First we will discuss about the pituitary gland. What is that? Pituitary gland. First, I will tell you its structure. It is a P-shaped gland. Okay, its shape is like a P. Where it is located, it is attached to the hypothalamus of brain. Okay, we also have discussed the parts of brain, thalamus, hypothalamus, and hypothalamus is present in your middle brain. So it is attached to the hypothalamus of brain. And which hormones it produce? Many hormones of pituitary gland influence the secretions of other endocrine glands. So, however, some hormones of this gland act directly in various tissues of body. So, many different hormones are produced by pituitary gland, which directly affect on the specific tissues or organs. So, pituitary gland consists of lobes. So, it has two lobes of pituitary gland. Pituitary gland have two lobes. First is called anterior lobe, and second is called posterior lobe. First is called interior lobe. You can also see in your book. First is called anterior lobe, and second is called posterior lobe. Okay, this is given. This is a posterior lobe. So first we will discuss interior lobe. So what is a in interior lobe? Uh, um, Somatotrophin is present, dwarfism and gigantism, and acromegaly. We will discuss these terms in interior lobe. Pituitary gland consists of two lobes. First is called anterior and second is called posterior. So first I will discuss with you anterior lobe. What is that? Anterior lobe. Okay. It produces many hormones first of all. Okay. So first hormone it produces, that is called somatotrophin. So what is the function of somatotrophin? One of its important hormones is somatotrophin, which is related to growth hormone, which is responsible for growth, how a body of a person began to grow. Okay, its function is that to promote the growth of the body. Now, if there is a deficiency of somatotrophin hormone inside the body, what is happening? So deficiency in the production of this hormone is diminished during growing age. If the growth of this hormone, okay, which hormone? You can see somatotrophin. If the growth of this hormone is reduced during the growing age, okay, so because of that a person go to dwarfism. So we all of know what is a dwarfism. So if the rate of growth decreases, this condition is called dwarfism. It means the body of a person never grow properly. Okay. So if overproduction, this is a deficiency of somatotrophin hormone. Because of that, dwarfism is produced. But if this hormone is excessively produced during growing age, okay, which hormone? Somatotrophin. If it is produced excessively in growing age, it leads to gigantism. What is the meaning of gigant? Gigant is very large, very tall, very big in size, very tall and overweight. So if somatotrophin is excessively produced after growing age, internal organs and body extremities along grow large. So you can keep in your mind that if it is produced in less amount during growing age, so because of that, what is happened? A person become a dwarfism. If this hormone produced during age excessively, then gigantism is produced, means very tall and overweight. But if this hormone is excessively produced after growing age, so what is the internal organs and body extremities alone grow large. So this condition is not acromegaly. This is a chronic disease which is produced in persons, acromegaly. And this is produced when this hormone excessively produced after the growing age. So such persons will have large hands, feet, and jaw bones. So which things will be large in their body? They have large hands, they can be have large feet, and they can be large jaw bones. Okay, so this is the function of this is the introduction of posterior lobe. Okay, and then there is another hormone is produced which is called thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, in interior lobe there is another hormone is produced which is called thyroid stimulating hormone. In the short form we call it TSH. Okay, so what is the function of this hormone? Another important hormone secreted by the interior lobe of pituitary gland is thyroid stimulating, and it stimulates thyroid gland to secrete its hormone. The remaining hormones of interior lobe influence reproductive organs and also control adrenal glands. So this hormone plays very important role. Its important function is that to control the reproductive organs and the control of adrenal glands. Adrenal gland means the glands which are responsible for your kidneys. Okay, so they control these two hormones. So this is the introduction of interior lobe, which is produced in pituitary gland. Now we will discuss the posterior lobe of pituitary gland. Okay, what is happen inside it? So posterior lobe of pituitary gland stores and secretes two hormones. So we will see in the book. Posterior lobe also produce two types of hormones in the body of a person, and these hormones are the posterior lobe which stores and secretes two hormones, and these are oxytocin and vasopressin. Okay, what are these? Oxytocin and vasopressin. Okay. Hormone ADA. In the short form, we call it ADA. These hormones are produced by hypothalamus, a part of our brain. So first we will discuss what is a vasopressin. Vasopressin increase the rate of reabsorption of water from nephron. If you keep in your mind the structure of kidney, we also know that inside the kidney there are 10 there are 10 lakh nephrons are located inside the kidney, and they are important. And you also study the function of kidney, how urine is formed in the body and when there is deabsorption of water. Okay, so vasopressin increase the rate of reabsorption of water from nephron. It increase the rate of reabsorption of water in the body of nephron. When we have low amount of water in body fluids, pituitary gland secretes vasopressin, and so more reabsorption of water occurs from nephron into blood. So these glands work automatically if we are not taking plenty of water. So at that time, vasopressin produce more hormone inside the body to balance our blood. In this way, body retains water and less amount of urine is produced. So what will be happen? Body absorb more water, and because of that, less water will be produced. On the other hand, when body fluids have more than normal water, okay. So when body fluids produce more water, so more water will be there is a decline in the secretion of this hormone. If pituitary gland does not secrete this hormone in the required amount, less water is absorbed from nephrons and there is excessive loss of water through urine. This condition is known as diabetes insipidus. Okay, this is called as diabetes insipidus. This is happen if you understand it. If you are taking less water, so because of that, vasopressin produce more secretions in the blood and control the blood level, and less urine will be produced. If you are taking plenty of water and the urine is more is producing than normal, then what will be happen? Then at that time, this hormone will be secretes and less water is absorbed from nephron and excessive loss of water will be happen through urine. So this condition is known as diabetes insipidus. Okay. Now we will discuss the second hormone, which is the part of posterior lap. I have told you oxytocin and vasopressin. We have discussed the vasopressin. Now we have what is the role of oxytocin in the body of a human body. The hormone oxytocin stimulates the contraction of uterus walls in mothers for childbirth. Moreover, this hormone is necessary for the ejection of milk from breast. So its role is very important. It stimulates the walls of uterus, which help the mothers for childbirth. Okay, and this hormone is necessary for the ejection of milk from breast. So you all of know when milk is produced in the breast, it is produced due to this hormone which is called oxytocin. Okay, this was the introduction of pituitary gland. Okay, now we will discuss the next hormone, which is called thyroid gland. What is that? First, I will tell you the introduction of thyroid gland. This is the largest endocrine gland. First of all, underline in your book. It is the largest endocrine gland in the human body, and it produces two hormones. Okay, first I will tell you its location. It is present in neck region below larynx. In neck region below larynx. Okay, and it produces two hormones. First is called thyroxine hormone, and second is called first is called thyroxine hormone. Okay, now we will discuss the thyroxine hormone. What is that? It is the thyroxine hormone. It produces a hormone thyroxine. Iodine is required for the production of this hormone. So what will be happen if deficiency is produced in the body? If a person lacks iodine in diet, thyroid gland cannot make its hormone. In this condition, thyroid gland enlarges. This disorder is called goiter. So hypothyroidism is caused by the underproduction of thyroxine. So its role is very important. It is produced in your neck region, okay, below larynx. It produces an thyroxine, and if for this functioning of this hormone, it requires iodine. It requires iodine. You can see in your book. Okay, you can see in your book. Okay, if a person lacks iodine in diet, thyroid gland cannot make its hormone in this condition. So thyroid gland enlarges. So they grow in large size in your neck region. This order is called goiter. So what is the disease of goiter? It is the lack of production of thyroxine hormone in the body. And why it is lack? If iodine is missing in your food. Okay, so thyroxine increases the breakdown of food, oxidation, and releases of energy in body. It is also responsible. These are the functions of thyroxine gland. Okay, why it is important? It is also responsible for the growth of body. It is also important for the growth of body. And also I have told you, hypothyroidism is caused by the underproduction of thyroxine. Okay, if thyroxine is not producing in the body properly, so because of the hypothyroidism can be caused. It is characterized by low energy production in body and slowing down of heartbeat. So hyperthyroidism is caused by overproduction of thyroxine. Its symptoms are increase in energy production, increased heartbeat, frequent sweating, and shivering of hands. Okay, so hyperthyroidism is caused by overproduction of thyroxine. Okay, if thyroxine is produced excessively in the body, so because of that, it increase in energy production. Your heartbeat can be increased, frequent sweating can be started, and shivering of hands. So the thyroid gland produces another hormone called calcitonin. Okay, so it is produced. First we have discussed about the thyroxine hormone. Now we will discuss another hormone which is produced by thyroid gland, and it is called calcitonin. So its function is that it decreases the level of calcium ions in blood and promote the absorption of calcium from blood into bones. We all of know that our bones produce red blood cell. So the important function of calcitonin is that it decreases the level of calcium ions in blood and promote the absorption of calciums from blood into bones. It decreases the calcium ions in blood and absorb these calcium ions from the blood and transport to the bones. So that's why then our bones can be strong. Okay, because our bones produce red blood cells, and they also get calcium ions from the blood. So calcium is very important our food. Okay, this was the introduction of calcitonin. Okay, and we have discussed in detail. Now we will discuss the third gland. This is parathyroid gland. Before that, we have discussed parathyroid. These are four glands situated on the posterior side of thyroid gland. These are the part of thyroid gland, and they are present at the posterior end. They produce a hormone known as parathormone. It increases the level of calcium ions in blood. So, what is the role of parathormone? It produces it increases the level of calcium ions in blood. Okay, so when there is increased production of parathormone, more than normal calcium salts are absorbed from the bones and added to blood. So consequently the bones become brittle. Okay, so there is an automatic system inside our body. uh, we have some things are give us energy, and some things are not good for us. So first of all, what is parathormone? Parathormone is a hormone which is produced. They are four glands, and they are situated at the posterior side of the thyroid gland, and its important function is that to produce calcium ions in the blood. But if there is increased production of parathormone, so one of the normal calcium salts are absorbed from the bones and added to blood. So because of that, bones can be brittle, they can be bent, they can be soft. If there is deficiency in the production of parathormone, blood calcium level falls. It leads to tetany, which affects the functioning of muscles. Okay, so there is a shivering in the muscles are produced, and this is called tetany, and it is because of then the blood calcium level is falls in the body. Okay, now we will see the box. Okay, look at the box. Calcitonin and parathormone complement each other or regulate the level of calcium ions in them. Yes, we know calcitonin get calcium ions from the blood and transport to the bones, and parathormone get if the level of calcium ions are decreased in the blood. So because of that, many problems. So they are opposite to each other. Now look at here another box. Tetany is marked by sharp flexion of the wrist and ankle joints, muscle twitching, cramps, and conversions. It is due to decreased blood calcium level, which makes the nerves and muscles more excitable. Okay, so tetany is a disease in which there is a flexion of wrist and ankle joints. Okay, there is a pain in wrist and ankle joints. There is a muscle twitching, muscles stretching of muscles. Cramps are produced and conversions and stretching and sometimes uh, tightening in the muscles are produced. So it is due decreased blood calcium level. So why cramps are produced? It is due to decreased blood calcium level, which makes the nerves and muscles more excitable, more stretchable. Okay, so it is the introduction of your parathyroid gland. Okay, now next are your adrenal glands. Adrenal glands. So what are they? What are adrenal glands? First of all, we discuss adrenal glands, their location. Two adrenal glands are situated above the kidneys. I have told you they are present above the kidney. So their function is very important. Two adrenal glands are situated above kidneys. So what are their location? Each adrenal gland consists of two parts. The outer part is cortex and the inner part is medulla. These things we also discuss in the structure of a kidney. The outer part of the kidney is called cortex and the inner part of the kidney is called medulla. So keep in your mind, we are talking about adrenal gland. So it consists of two parts. Outer part is called cortex and the inner part is called medulla. So adrenal medulla secretes a hormone called epinephrine or adrenaline is responsible in response to stress. Okay, when a person feels stress, so at that time adrenal glands began to work and the medulla, the inner part of the adrenal gland, at that time it secretes two hormones epinephrine and adrenaline in response to stress. It prepares our body to overcome emergency situations. Okay, therefore adrenaline is also termed as emergency hormone. So underline it, this is very important. Adrenaline is also called an emergency hormone. Why? Because it prepares our body to overcome emergency situation. Okay, when there is an emergency situation, it prepares our body to cope that situations. Okay, and there is a hormone of adrenal cortex. So the adrenal cortex secretes many hormones called corticosteroids, which maintain the balance of salts and water in blood. So what is the important function of cortex? Okay, I have told you adrenal gland consists of two parts. Okay, first is called cortex and second is called medulla. So medulla produce two hormones, uh, produce a hormone which is called epinephrine adrenaline, which prepare our body in the condition of stress. And the function of cortex is that to maintain the salts and water inside our body. So they both are very important and they play very important role in the body of a person. Now look at the box. Okay, when a person experiences fear, anger or anxiety, the rate and intensity of heartbeat increases. Blood pressure increases. Blood flow to the limbs increases. Blood flow to the alimentary canal and skin is reduced. So such changes prepares the body to face any emergency situation. This is very true when we face any emergency situation. For example, if you listen any news, if there is a sudden death, if there is a sudden accident, so what is the condition of a person at that time? A person experiences fear, it feels fear, it feels anger, it feels anxiety, and the rate and intensity of heartbeat increases. Definitely in certain situation our heartbeat began to increase. Okay, and blood pressure increase that because the ratio of salts and water are increased inside our body. Okay, and then blood flow to the limbs increases. Definitely limbs, towards our limbs the flow of blood is increased. Blood flow to the alimentary canal. You all of know alimentary gland play a very important role in the digestive system. It started from our mouth till anus. Okay, so its function is very important. Uh, uh, Blood flow to the alimentary canal and skin is reduced. Okay, in above these parts, the pressure of blood is increased, and in alimentary canal and skin, the pressure of blood is decreased. So such changes prepare the body to face any emergency situation. So because of that, our body is getting ready to face the emergency situation. So
Sorry,
this situation is controlled by adrenal glands, and in adrenal glands there are two important glands, cortex and medulla. So this condition is
yeah.
controlled by medulla. Okay, so this is the important part of adrenal glands, and this is very important. I hope you understand it. Today we have discussed four endocrine glands. First we have discussed the pituitary gland. Secondly we have discussed the thyroid gland. Okay, and third one we have discussed the parathyroid gland, and number four we have discussed the adrenal gland. In our next lecture, inshallah we will discuss uh, we have discussed four parts. Now two parts are left. Inshallah we will discuss in our next lecture. I hope you understand. And endocrine system is related to your chemical coordination. In the start of the chapter I have told you, you have two types of coordination: nervous coordination and chemical coordination. In nervous coordination, we have discussed the brain and spinal cord, and further we have discussed the receptor in humor, in which we have discussed the structure of eye and ear. Now we have started chemical coordination, and in which we have started the endocrine glands, and we have discussed their types, and four types of glands we have discussed today. And the next one we will discuss in our next lecture, inshallah. And now your lecture has been ended. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you so much.